All right, let's see what happens. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay,
we're live.
Don't know where we were streaming to before, but
Avoid.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna wait about 5 seconds just to make sure everything catches up.
Okay.
Hey there, guys. It's me, Gary Tremarky, here with the Failing Upward team. If you guys want to go around and introduce yourselves, we try to do this every stream. Just
I'll start.
Kind of get to know each other. Go for it.
Yeah, I am 9, or James. You can refer to me that as well. I am the assistant animator.
Okay. Let's go next.
It's me. Everyone's favorite. It's not.
In many circles, in many niche circles, Jack is everybody's favorite.
Sure, yeah. I'm not absolutely not. I'm Jack. I'm the discussion animator and animation director for Failing Upward.
Woo! Hello, everybody. I'm Miranda. Also go by Practical Pigeon, and I'm the background artist.
All right, guys. Well, we're doing a fun holiday stream. Yeah, happy holidays. It's getting close to that time of year. We thought we'd do another stream. We were supposed to do a stream last month, but I think I just got so busy that I had completely forgotten about it. But I think this is good. We can regroup and talk about things and everything like that. I'm also going to post the link on Twitter right now. I should have done that before. I don't know why I didn't.
Life comes at you fast.
Yeah, it does. Life does come at you fast. Thank you, Ferris Bueller, for putting that quote into the world.
Is that what that's from? Really? I did not know that.
I mean, that's what I know it from. I couldn't tell you one way or another if that's truly what it's from.
I just picked it up from other people saying it and being like, yeah, I agree. I agree with the sentiment.
So, Failing Upward Holiday Stream 2022. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna retweet it to mine. But yeah, so we're just gonna kind of draw some holiday stuff, and we'll take questions if anybody has them. We'll give you guys an update of what we're doing and kind of some stuff that's coming up. Just so you guys know, we because of everything that's going on with Twitter, we're trying to spread out to different platforms right now. So if you would like to follow us on Instagram, it's Instagram.com. It's at Wayback Studios, WAEBAK Studios. I believe it's the same thing on Tumblr, Wayback Studios. And we're on there. And we have a TikTok as well, same handle. And yeah, so if you guys want to follow that, we're going to be posting stuff there. There's nothing on the TikTok yet, but we will have more stuff coming very soon to that. Got some fun turnarounds that we're going to be putting out soon.
The best memes.
The best memes. Cody's
there's
going to be like 1,000 Vine booms over Cody. There's no reason for them to be there, but we've heard that they do very well with kids. So
what's the latest challenge right now? Shit.
Which one?
Wait, what did Nine say?
No, I was like, which challenge? There's
yeah. I don't know what you kids do nowadays. You still flipping bottles? Is that still a thing?
Flipping bottles.
As long as nobody's eating Tide Pods, it's fine.
Yeah. I was gonna bring that up. I didn't know if we should. I don't know if that's gonna get our stream pulled.
No. Do not eat Tide Pods. That's my advice.
Yeah. Don't eat Tide Pods, please.
Try shampoo. It's more healthier. No.
No, don't do that, please.
No, sorry.
Oh my god.
This is not medical advice.
Us artists do not condone eating shampoo or Tide Pods.
I also want to apologize. I have a little bit of a cough going. I've had a cough for like 3 or 4 weeks now, and apologize if it's really annoying, but I unfortunately have to live with it every day. You only have to live with it for an hour. But no, I'm just kidding. But like, we have all those new social medias. I'm gonna make a little announcement little later, but we're going to be putting up a piece of Failing Upward Media that has not been publicly released outside of a small run back in the day, and I'll announce that later. Guys, just remind me, just in case we're closing the stream and I forget, but we'll do that then. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, I kind of wanted to catch up to where we are. We have started animating the new episode. We've got a couple of backgrounds that have been done. Really excited for Miranda's work there. Been loving the vibe we've been getting from those. And yeah, I mean, do you guys kind of want to talk about, like, you know, I think we kind of talked about a little bit like what we can expect and everything, but like, you know, like maybe we can talk a little bit about like this new style we're going into, because that was kind of one of the things that's evolved since the last time we've talked about like how this new episode's going to look.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely approaching this episode in a way that's like a bit more looser than like previous episodes in terms of like, because I think we're gonna try and approach it in a sense of like initiating our own styles within the animation more, not in a way that's sort of like it will, you know, change the look of the, I guess, not like in terms of like changing the actual look of the characters. It's more we're keeping towards character designs, more so just the way the characters are sort of moving and such like that. So it's not only easier for us in terms of production, but also just in terms of like making the episode more visually appealing and a bit more sort of like freeform than what it was. Because I think, granted, with I think the previous work that we've done for the episodes, while it looks, you know, of course, we're very proud of the work we've done with those. It's I feel like we can definitely, especially in terms of like to allow ourselves to produce more efficiently. I think also it'll just allow us to have a bit more of a freeform visual look to make it a bit more, you know, we're sort of trying things out in terms of like, you know, animating wise and stuff, and making it a bit more words. So I guess just main point is just that we're making it sort of more approaching in a way that the animation is a bit more easier for us to approach, and while being a bit more visually interesting for you, the viewers who are going to be watching the next episode. Does that make sense? I don't know. I think yeah, it works. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think because I think we just want to mix it up in terms of like, and not only that, but just help keep up with production and stuff like that. Because I know that, you know, we don't want to have like years of waiting between episodes and stuff like that. So. That's for the approach with this one coming up. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward definitely anyway in terms of like how we're gonna approach this next episode and stuff like that.
For sure.
Yeah.
I one of the things that really struck me, I guess, is just like that combination of styles. Like, well, I guess one of the things that I kind of took from the comments was that like people seem to like how the show looks a little different with each passing episode, and 9 had made a comment a while back just about just like, you know, really changing it up and kind of contrasting styles.
Yeah.
At the time.
Right.
Yeah. At the time, I wasn't sure because I was like, well, you know, we have all these character models and stuff like that. I kind of want to stick to that. But like, as I've seen people's reception to that, I was like, no, let's experiment and have fun. So like, you know, 9 definitely has to be credited for like just like really coming up with that idea and
absolutely, yeah,
and pushing it. So very cool stuff. And I'm really excited to see, you know, your stuff, 9. Like, how are you feeling about kind of like exploring more of like your own style within the show?
I would like to say that a lot of it usually stems to, like, I suppose to the most basic form is just line quality. A lot of that stuff is something I usually like to delve into when making animations. Sometimes small lines, larger lines, weighted lines is my favorite. And exploring that within the show is pretty fun. Find some neat little tricks and shortcuts, because shortcuts are very important with animating. You don't want to stay in the animation.
Nice, very cool. And I guess I'll toss it to Miranda as well. Like, Miranda, like, how are you feeling? Because like this is your second full episode with us, Like, how are you feeling about kind of the evolution of like how your work has progressed in here?
Well, let's see. It's been interesting because I know I've become a little bit more aware of other techniques that other background artists use. Like in this episode, for the night scenes that are exteriors of JC's house, I actually have a color lookup table. It's known as a LUT that's used. So I know from other episodes, like, okay, here's what the color palette usually looks like, and then I use that color LUT to sort of tweak it into a nighttime palette. So that saves a bit of time. And some of it's also just thinking like, okay, well, if I have to reuse this element I've drawn before, like, what are ways I can do to like save time the next time it has to show up, either by finding a more efficient way to draw it or like using some tools. Like there's a roof pattern that shows up in a couple of shots, and that's been a good example of trying to find ways to get that looking dimensional without having to draw every individual tile each time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been interesting. Just sort of trying to figure out some efficiencies based on what the background's needs are.
And I think this is also an episode where you get to draw outside comparatively to having everything take place inside. Obviously, there are scenes that we've done that have had kind of like a fantasy outside background, but like this is the first one where we kind of get to go outside and see kind of like the outside of like JC's house and then Cody's apartment. Like, how is it kind of like adapting your style to that?
Well, I mean, it's actually kind of funny. I do like drawing nighttime scenes because it's kind of fun to stylize how some of the color and lighting can work. That's actually been kind of fun since that's sort of it to some extent in my wheelhouse. One thing that was really interesting for JC's is we were trying to figure out what general geographic area the neighborhood is in, and I used that to figure out what kind of trees would be there. So I think most of the fall, since it's fall, the tree in the background, and one of the backgrounds in the fallen leaves and some others are based on a sugar maple specifically.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It was fun for you to do some of that research.
Yeah, for sure. It's Cody, you're trying.
That's good.
I love it. I love it so much. Oh my god. Never stop with the Ava references. Never stop with the Ava reference. And like, I can't quite see what Jack's drawing, but let's see.
Can you not? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have to kind of. Oh, there. The Charlie Brown Cody.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's fun.
That's a good
Awesome.
one.
Typically, he does spend his holidays in that Ava pose. That's just his thing.
Hang on, I'm zoomed
like-
out. I haven't...
Yeah,
Lose.
we kind of have to share the screen a little bit, but that's okay.
Holy shit. That's funny.
Yeah, you know what? Let's see.
Wow.
Full recorder because I didn't want to
That's-
impinge on anyone
that's-
else's days.
That's Cody sitting. That's Cody sitting at a Christmas, like a family Christmas party, in like a crappy folding chair.
So I should draw a
Just
little
doing
bit
the Ava
bigger.
pose.
I'm also
There,
doing.
there we go. Now we're good. Now we can see everything. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to do my best to at least make it a middle ground because my Cintiq, it's kind of small for me, but it's not. It's honestly something I'm gonna have to deal with because it's kind of something we have to work with in terms of screen size. It's all good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the space.
Yeah.
I'll try and do a little bit bigger. Anyway.
But yeah, this has been a really interesting episode because this is kind of the first one, and I once again I probably said this on the last stream, but like for me at least, this is the first one that has like some meat to the backstory for both of the characters. So it's been interesting, kind of going back and watching the boards and kind of figuring out how to best use expressions to convey, to what they're feeling and everything. It's also been interesting from an editing standpoint because I've been kind of already the Santa hat. That's perfect. That is
Debating
awesome.
whether it should stand up or be kind of
Ooh.
droopy.
Oh, it should totally be droopy. Also, Nine, I love the Cody on the mountains. That's awesome.
Thank you. I'm trying to find out where it went because I accidentally undid something and it took away
Oh,
all
no.
of it. Yeah, I'm like, huh? What happened there? I'm like, that was very short-lived. I'll just do it again. It's fine.
Oh, I see. It came back. I see it now.
It did. Okay.
Yeah.
It's still here.
Yeah, I see it.
Am I'm missing something. I can't see it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, dang.
I don't see it on the stream, but I see it I see it in the draw pile.
Oh, huh.
That's very odd, but I'm sure we'll figure that out. No worries.
The curious case of where did my drawing go? Episode
Well,
1.
I think did you change the layer by mistake?
Let's see. I probably. Oh, whoops.
Anyway, while we try to get Cody and the mountains back, like I was saying, it's been a very interesting editing process because this is another one where this is one where I got to kind of be experimental, or not experimental, but I got to have a little fun with just like things I could do that weren't animation based or sound effects based, where there's a scene where JC is watching TV, and I don't want to spoil what we did, but it turned out really cool, and I'm really excited to kind of see what people's reaction to it is. It's a split-second thing, but it's going to be very fun to kind of like put out there in the evolution of what the show is and everything. So very, very excited for that, and yeah, just really looking forward to this one. I've really been enjoying the very autumny vibe of it. And that obviously comes through a lot in the backgrounds and maybe just the general tone of the episode. But yeah, it's this is probably, like, from a writing standpoint, probably my favorite out of the 5 we're doing. Not to discredit the other ones. There's more good stuff coming along, but it's gonna be fun. So yeah. Also, I mean, like I said, I know there's only 4 people watching right now, but if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We definitely want to answer your questions and everything. Definitely excited to kind of hear. I'd love to get fan feedback. We're obviously trying to promote the show a lot more now, and not that we weren't before, but we're definitely trying to kind of widen the fan base and get more eyes on it. But yeah, feel free to drop questions. But yeah, so basically right now we have, for the next one, we have like the entire shot list down, and we're going through that and everything. And it's just going to be very fun to see how everything unfolds. I'm really excited. So I guess, like, we try to also make these streams a little bit about, what we're doing. And I feel like one of the things we haven't really talked about yet is kind of like personal projects that we're all working on outside of this. And I'd love to kind of take the time to get to know about, anything you guys are working on. If you want to, promote anything and talk a little bit about it, feel free.
Let's see. I'm trying to think.
Nine, I know you have a bunch of stuff, so I'd love to hear from you.
I was gonna say, you can't struggle with 9. You've got you got tons of projects in the works, haven't you?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I will say for one project that I'm hoping to at least get on the ground running again to Mix and Match, the one with the mouse bakers and all that stuff. It has an episode in the works at the moment. It's kind of just been on indefinite hiatus for a little bit because finals came through.
Oh, cool!
And we're starting to get back into the swing of things. Hopefully, it's out within a week, maybe tomorrow. Who knows?
Awesome. Very excited for that. I've really enjoyed your stuff so far, just because, like, for an independent, like your independent series, like, it has such a large scope. Like, it's very ambitious, and I'm really excited to see where you go with it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, like, what's it for you, like, comparatively, I guess, to Failing Upward? I mean, obviously you're kind of more doing this on your own. But like what is like the animation process for your own stuff? Like, what are you kind of like, what do you take influence from, and then what do you try to convey with your own shorts?
It's a similar thing to, let's say, Failing Upward. For my stuff, however, it's more loose, I would say, since I am kind of I'm my own boss and I'm kind of everyone. What the thing I have to worry about is that I have to make sure that I keep myself in check scheduling wise, so it doesn't eat up too much of my time. But then again, it's like if I keep focusing on things that's kind of leading into what am I trying to get at? What I'm trying to say is that it's really tough if you're not careful about how much you're putting on your plate, and a lot of it has to do with the loose scheduling of like me being my own boss and all that stuff. I hope I answered the question. I probably derailed.
No. I think that's really good. I think it is comparatively, when we have like this team and we can bounce each other ideas off each other, it is a very different experience to kind of having to mandate everything yourself. So I think that's a totally valid answer. Jack, how about you? What have you been working on? I think you would announce something on Twitter a while back, like for something you had worked on.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Don't break NDA though.
But don't. Right. Well, no. I'm just saying this is something he announced on Twitter. I think.
Oh man, you got me stumped. I'm trying to remember what I announced.
Hang on. I don't want you to break NDA either. So.
Oh no! Oh, you're talking about the TV show? Yeah. No, I can announce that now. It's out now. All episodes are out now. Yeah, no. This past year has been crazy. Well, crazy in the sense of like a lot in terms of just like, because I finally had my graduation ceremony for my master's degree this year.
Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice.
Immediately right after that, the next day after that ceremony, though, I started work immediately on a TV show that I was working for, a children's TV show for CBeebies for the BBC called Roots and Fruits, where it's for preschool, but like basically I just animate. It's all these fruits and vegetables doing a talent show, and each one has like their own skill and whatnot. So literally, I was just like animating a bunch of dancing fruit and vegetables. I think I was assigned mostly like, because each fruit or vegetable has like their own episode. So I had like a strawberry who was like sort of like singing as a choir singer, like a Aretha Franklin kind of white. And then we had like a rapping raspberry, and then we had like a sea shanty coconut. And what else I did? I did a bit of an Elvis. What was it, like an Elvis carrot? And then, but like, man, that rig was like so high. It was also my first time doing proper animation rigs, and that in itself was like as someone who's used to doing like hand drawn animation, it was like quite a surprising leap to go into in terms of like, doing rigged animation and stuff like that. Because I can understand why, of course, why it's used and why it makes creating episodes way more efficient. However, for me, it's like there's a slight lack of like control in terms of like your freedom of I would not say creative intent, but I guess when it comes to like you have a lack of specificity in terms of like when you're trying to like to control these rigs more so than if you're doing things hand drawn. So it was definitely like a learning curve in itself, especially also the first time using Adobe Animate, which is not my favorite software to use.
Understandable.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. It's, I mean, remember the first time I literally used it, it just crashed on the open page. So it was just like, I see. It's just, I think, eventually I got like the niche of it anyway. So it was pretty much, it was good that I got around to learning it anyway and stuff like that. But of course it would come with its own errors. Like an arm would just suddenly go right opposite the face, or just like, just suddenly the eyes would just go like, cross, just do not what it's supposed to do and stuff like that. So basically it's like, I got to go retrace a couple of steps back to figure out stuff like that. So that was fun. But, it was cool. I mean, we had a good team, fortunately. And, it was a good experience to go by, especially for my first TV work. So yeah, that was pretty fun. Yeah. So
Nice.
that was a good thing. As in terms of future projects though, still thinking about my own stuff. I did like a lot of stuff based upon my final film I want to explore more, because I did for my final film that I did for my master's degree, it was based around like a sort of a documentary-esque film that explores upon like a mockumentary kind of thing, where basically we have a character named Jess who is a lock logger who lives in Scotland, and basically the idea is that she documents lock monsters, because there's more than one. There's more than one across the
Oh, that's fun.
the various locks in Scotland and stuff like that. Like, she thinks the Loch Ness monster is so overrated, like an absolute show off and stuff like that. So, why is no one talking about like Loch Canal or any other types of lock? This one. So, and she gives like sort of a documentary about. So basically, it's a tip by tip guide about how you can spot these monsters and whatnot. So, but that's an idea that that's an idea I've been like. It's on my Vimeo page. I think part of me wants to go back and like fix some bits and pieces up. But if you want to see it, you can check out my Vimeo page to see it. I want to fix up a little bit, maybe in terms of like maybe do like a director's cut, because I know there's some bits and pieces I'm just like I'm not satisfied with that bit. I might fix it up a bit, But yeah, I mean, it was definitely like a fun experience to sort of like learn, especially I mean, I'm a perfectionist in myself, so it's more the fact of like I want to go back and sort of like redo it all again. But the idea itself I want to explore more, and I've got an idea upon like how I can create more exploration with that, especially in terms of writing, I guess, because that's definitely an area that I want to get better at. So hopefully next year basically I want to explore upon like not only get better at writing, but also maybe explore that more ideas I can explore with Jess and her search for lock monsters and such. And maybe do so in like, in a way that's like maybe because I'm thinking about going back actually to try out doing comics again. So, might help me to do that. I might explore trying to get back into trying to figure out how to do comics and then from there like figure out how to do the animation and whatnot from there. But we'll see how it goes anyway.
Do you know about Shortbox Comics Expo?
I do not. No, that's.
Let me make sure I'm coding this correctly. But it's basically, it's basically like they have an application period, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna make a comic, and the only like requirement is that it can't have been released anywhere else before, so like it gets like sold there first. Let's see. I want to just make sure I'm not misquoting them, but I found out about them I think earlier this year. Okay, so it's the Shortbox Comics Fair. It's digital, but so basically every comic that's being exhibited, it's the debut of that comic. People can sell them online basically, and people can like browse through them and buy them. And they try to make sure that the pricing is fair to artists, and it's a cool thing. I can put it in chat and draw pile. But yeah, they're cool. But I saw a lot of really cool work from them this past year, and I think it's a really neat opportunity if you're like, hey, I want to try to make a comic. How do I get this out there? And it's like, that's one way if they like it.
Oh, that's right. Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, definitely we'll look into that more so, definitely. Oh, all right. Yeah. Because I think that's the thing. Before I did animation, all I could do was make comics. So and then part of me still kind of likes that aspect and stuff like that. I think for me, it just helps if I want to like explore more of those stories and whatnot. Then it's just like I think about maybe trying to make it in like usually we do it like a storyboard or stuff like that. But maybe I kind of visually want to try and like pitch it out a bit more in a more expressive way. So that's why I kind of want to delve back into that comic making, and then maybe if I like it, then I can like see it and hopefully adapt it into an animation, properly. So, but in terms of just helping me try and like develop the story and stuff like that, I think I definitely want to try and like express it more so in written work than going straight into animation and stuff, because it just animation it just takes, and not to say that comic making doesn't take as long as doing animation, but like
there is definitely a time sink aspect, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. So I just think about like, maybe I'll just try and see it if I can like see it properly before going straight into it. But yeah, cool. Yeah. What about you, Miranda? You got any plans you got any future plans?
I feel like I talked about this last time, but maybe I didn't. I have a short that I finished over this summer. It's an animation anthology called Things Take a Turn. Short's called In Search of Birds. That's available on the internet, and you can watch it right now for free.
What?
But let's see. Aside from that, I'm actually looking forward to 2 classes I signed up for next year. One is with Esther Morales. I think it's a character design class. I'm going to butcher the name. I think La Galeria Roja. I don't know Spanish. I'm very sorry. But I think that's based out of Madrid, but the time zone works that like I can like virtually attend while it's being done.
Oh, cool.
So that's exciting. And The other one is the light and color class that Kat Sai does periodically. She's a beautiful
Oh.
background artist. Just got a it's funny actually. We went to the same college, so I have met her before. Super nice, but like she's got a very fantastic sense of like, okay, what color will communicate the sense of light and the mood in a scene, and she's just got an impeccable sense of that, and I'm really looking forward to learning from her on that front.
Nice.
Sounds
That's
good.
really fun.
Yeah, so some stuff to look forward to in 2023.
Awesome.
Hmm.
I guess I can talk a little bit about I've mentioned this and I've posted about it on this channel. We posted a preview of it, but I've been working on another cartoon called Starstruck. It's about a girl from Earth who is a PA to an alien rock star, and she gets into all kinds of crazy adventures in space. Really excited to show you guys more of that. We are currently planning another small preview that's going to give you a broader overall vibe for the show. So really excited to eventually get that out. We've been working really hard on it. It's produced by Dom Farah, who you might know from a lot of different things on the internet. Really, really cool guy. Been having a lot of fun working with him. Stars some people from Star Kid, Joey Richter, and Lauren Lopez, as well as Shannon Barry and Jenny Yokobori as our main character, Harper. I'm really excited to get this out there because we've been working on it for a while, but obviously there's just, whenever you're working on anything animated, of course, like there's a lot of roadblocks, there's a lot of scheduling conflicts, there's a lot of kind of like, especially when it's something that it's kind of like a passion project, things get in the way, but we have the entire episode recorded. And we're excited to kind of get whatever we can for it to you guys. And one thing, we have previews of that on the Instagram, Wayback Studios. I'm just really excited to get that out there. Like that's definitely another thing alongside Failing Upward where I'm just like, yeah, like I'm so excited to show this to people. It's been a lot of fun working on it.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm very, 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 very excited to show you guys that. I've listened to it like an ungodly amount of times now, and I'm just like, I want people to see this so bad. So yeah, I mean that's I'm glad we were able to catch up on that and kind of go iconic Shinji chair failing personified. Yeah, no, absolutely. And also Wes is in the chat. We have to get Wes on a stream because Wes did our storyboard. So the next stream we do, we're gonna have Wes on for sure. So sorry, Wes. I meant to actually contact you for this one. I totally forgot. But next time, just throw a DM out to me and we'll get you on the next stream. Wes's storyboards are so good. We've been posting previews of them on social media. So we'll pick you up on the next stream. So yeah.
So bad news. Sorry. No. Well, what I'm going to say, I think I've lost Charlie Brown Cody. And,
no, he's still up there. I see him.
You see him? Where is he?
I see him on the stream.
Okay, I had this exact same problem about 15 minutes ago. So for some reason, I selected using this little rectangular box. It covered the entire thing in white. I'm like, where did it go? And then I what I did was I used that exact same thing over the same space, and it revealed what I had earlier.
Oh my god, it's back. Okay. Phew.
Yeah,
all right.
It threw me for a loop. I was like, I'm going to look so silly once I figure this out.
You see, I'm not crazy.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, drop pile tools are nice and all. It's very convenient, but I understand that one.
I love that Miranda always finds a way to draw a Pokemon on these streams. It is the best. I love it. Because I think you did one last time. You did some Halloween Pokemon last time.
Yeah, I know I did Greavard last time, one of the new Gen 9 ones. This is Delibird, who's over from Gen 2, who looks a little bit like a Santa Claus, but its thing is that its tail is like full of like packages and stuff, and it delivers things. Actually, there's I think it's Pokemon Channel, which is like this GameCube game where you watch TV with Pikachu, and that's the game. It's very cozy.
Yeah,
that's the game. And like Delibird will show up sometime with packages that you order from like the QVC channel, which is run by a Squirtle in sunglasses. It is very silly. I quite enjoy it.
So yeah, I was actually thinking about like Do you guys remember Hey You Pikachu?
Yes.
Which was the N64 game where you could talk to Pikachu, and it didn't really work well.
I was gonna say
Do you
talk
wanna
in
know-
brackets.
Do you want to know the reason why it didn't work well?
Yeah. Why?
So, it didn't really have a great localization process. So, the original game was built in Japanese, was tuned to recognize certain Japanese phrases. They didn't really do much on the back end to like, get it to recognize English phrases, so it just doesn't really work in English.
No.
Yeah. That's my understanding. It's possible. It's possible that like maybe we know more about that now, and my information is out of date. But that's what I was told when I was at like inquiring about like why it no work. Pokemon Channel is a little bit better in that regard because I don't think you don't actually talk to Pikachu. You just like use inputs to tell it to do things or like point for it to go somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like I remember there a lot of the Pokemon games, like the N64 ones in particular, when they were trying to evolve past Game Boy and trying to get them onto other consoles. I always remember like they were kind of like diminishing returns with each one. I will say my favorite N64 Pokemon game, there's only like 4 or 5 of them, I think. But like my favorite one, I think, is Pokemon Puzzle League, which is literally just a puzzle game that has Pokemon graphics slapped on it. Like there's no real like tie-in with Pokemon. It's a very impressive game because they got full motion video on an N64 cartridge, which was I believe they thought that was impossible for a while, but they just it was heavily compressed from what I remember. Yeah,
It's a puzzle games, and so the assets are pretty minimal, so they can just put all the rest of that storage space to the compressed video. It's pretty
yeah,
funny.
I had a lot of fun with that game. I love I wouldn't say they're midis, but they're kind of like almost freesound.org versions of like the songs from the show.
Oh,
Yeah, it hits a very weird nostalgic button for me when I hear that. I was just like, because I had that soundtrack as a kid. I had the To Be a Master album. So I'm like, oh, I know this is Viridian City or whatever, or this is I don't know. There was also, I believe, there were also songs from the movie soundtrack. I think Catch Me was put on that soundtrack as well. I could be wrong. I might be misremembering. But no, that was like, to me, I think that was like the peak of my Pokemon fandom because that was the first time Tracy was really around. And I think after Tracy, I started to fade out a little bit. From the show, at least. I've played a couple of the games since then, but yeah, I don't know. Puzzle League's good, but I was gonna say like some of the ones on N64, like Pokemon Stadium, it's just kind of like a glorified battle simulator. Like there's no real gameplay. You know, there's some strategy.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, there is gameplay, but it's kind of hard as nails if you're trying to do the ranked modes, just because of like how badly the RNG can be not in your favor. Like the gimmick is that the rental Pokemon in the game, the more powerful the Pokemon is, the worse moves they tend to have. So if you want a powerful Pokemon and a good moveset, you need to bring it in from one of your cartridges, which means buying an accessory and spending money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I remember having the transfer pack as a kid, and I was just not. I think. Well, I didn't own Pokemon Stadium, but I rented it from Blockbuster, and you could rent the transfer pack as well.
Cool.
So I remember transferring my stuff into there. And at that point, I mean, I think I had Red and Blue for like 2 years at that point. So every Pokemon I had was like completely OP at that point, like to the point where it's like decimating other things, like other like battles and everything. But yeah, I mean, I like the mini games in Pokemon Stadium. Like those are fun. But those are just mini games, you know, like it's not really a game. And then there's Pokemon Stadium. There was Hey You Pikachu. And did they do Pokemon Stadium 2 in the US?
Yeah, I think they did. That's the one that had the Generation 2 Pokemon.
I didn't play Stadium 2, but I remember it. Because I know, from what I know, there's the original Pokemon Stadium from Japan was like a very minimal version of the first game. And then Pokemon Stadium 2 in Japan was like the full version. And I don't know what they called Stadium 3.
Whereas we only got 2 Stadium titles over here, but they were like, it's sort of like the situation with like, oh goodness, what is it? The different versions of the first games where like one of them was like, oh yeah, no, this is an updated patch version. It's super
Yeah.
interesting how that used to be before the age of just being able to download something. Like, I mean, that was kind of what the third versions used to be of the games, where it was like, oh, okay, you can catch most of the Pokemon now, but also we've updated some issues so that they're not as bad anymore. Or the
Yeah. There's a Final Fight game on Super Nintendo called Final Fight Guy, and there's the only difference in it is that you get to play as a character named Guy. That's it. Like that's
Final Fight
that's the
Guy.
only- yeah, just Guy.
Not even Guy
Um,
Shishio, just a guy.
Just Guy. But yeah, they got away with a lot. I think there's a Bloody Roar game like that for Xbox, the original Xbox, if I'm not mistaken, where it's just like, here's a game with one more character, basically. Like that's all you get. I remember like it was cool. Like I remember console exclusives were a lot of fun. Where like I remember this. I think it's Soul Calibur 2 that has like you could like depending on what console you got it for, you could play as Link, you could play as Heihachi, or
Oh
you could play,
yeah,
or you could play as Darth Vader, which was insane for the time.
Yeah, that was GameCube era. I remember it was probably that generation.
Yeah. It's funny that there's no like because of DLC now, you don't need to do that anymore. Like you can just give people like a patch basically.
Or you can
very-
make them pay for the patch, depending on how much content it has.
Yeah, I mean
No.
that's a whole other story where it's just like it's like how can we take advantage of our consumers today? Like we can like here's this like giant like here's this thing that will fix the game for you, but you have to pay like $10 for it. It's a microtransaction.
I will say, I think generally, if it's a performance patch, that's usually free. But if there's more content, that tends to be where paid stuff goes in. Like,
Sure.
oh god, what's a good example? Like with the Splatoon games. So I know they've had DLC since 2, and I know 3 is some planned. So basically, the way that tends to work is like, okay, we will offer a DLC that is an entirely new campaign with a bunch of levels and cutscenes and stuff, and that's a separate thing. But are you just playing online, you know, playing Turf War, playing Ranked, playing Salmon Run? Those updates are free.
Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining what you said earlier about it's like, how can we mess with the consumer? I'm imagining a scene where someone's about to throw a dart at a dartboard that just has all the stuff that's that's listed about how can we mess with them. They just throw the entire bucket of darts at it.
They've already come up with the ways. They're just choosing it basically.
They're choosing it, but they're like, yeah, let's just throw the entire bucket of darts, and they choose it all.
At least it's
Yeah.
not horse armor.
At least it's not what?
At least it's not horse armor. Horse
Oh.
armor, the first example of DLC. I don't even remember how much it cost, but it was like just I think the first example of like a cosmetic that you could pay money for that was downloadable content, and people were just, it was pretty ridiculous for the time, and I think it still exists as a good example as an axiom towards like, okay, so how do you do this badly?
Yeah. I wanted to actually now we've been talking about video games for a while, but what are because this is a holiday stream, like what are some of your guys' holiday memories as far as just like kind of like growing up and spending holidays with your families? I'm very interested to hear people's experiences. I'm always interested because I don't know. I actually don't talk about it much, but with friends. But I figure it's appropriate here, so we should try that.
I mean, we have on my end, it's like we have a big family anyway. There's like 7 of us all together. You know, all my sisters, no brothers, and just mom and dad. So it's just like I remember the tradition for us was that every Christmas, you know, to come down. I think, and especially for us, it was just early in the morning. It was just like literally like, you know, like you would hear the rumble coming down the stairs of all of us going down to our stockings, and we had our stockings in front of the fireplace anyway. We didn't have the tradition of having the stockings at the end of our beds or anything like that. We just go down to the fireplace and just see what Santa has given us every day. We technically still keep on with that tradition. However, you know, as we've gotten older, we've started to like enjoy sleeping in more. And so it's more of a casual like getting out sort of thing, like, you know, of just like sort of dragging ourselves out to bed. I'd probably like hopefully like some of the like some folks would probably be a bit hungover, like a catch up with friends, you know, it's catching up with friends and stuff on the holidays and whatnot. I mean, for us, I feel like it's just very just traditional in the sense of like how we celebrate it, and just it's like we keep it. We keep it close because obviously we're quite a close family anyway, and just like the meals are around in the middle of the day, and just like we're just always full by the time there's no room for like seconds or anything like that, and then after that it's usually a mix of like either playing with all the toys that we have, or or whatever we got on Christmas, and watch whatever Christmas special we usually have, because I mean, we obviously got famous for like obviously the Snowman and and whatever Christmas special that we would usually watch in terms of like, because there's usually always just a very, it's always the unique ones, and I feel like it's a tradition that's kind of like it's been not
lost.
As hard hit. Yeah, well, I think we're trying to get back to it because it was always like we're doing book adaptations now.
Yeah.
Nowadays, and this year we're adapting a children's book called the Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. I don't know if you guys heard that one.
No, I've never heard of this.
I mean, it's very. I mean, I love the fact that we're keeping it traditional. It's all with like 2D animation. I mean, it's digital, but like we're keeping it quite traditional and stuff like that. It's a very sweet book, and it's got, it's got very like, there's like wholesomeness towards it and stuff like that. And I think that's like what they're trying to go for nowadays anyway, because I remember like they tried to adapt the Gruffalo a while back and stuff like that, and it's like that's okay, but that wasn't really a Christmas, it didn't really feel like a Christmas film, like like a film to watch during like the period, like James Corden as the mouse, and like that really puts me off. I mean, I don't know if you guys even know what the Gruffalo,
I'm familiar with the Gruffalo. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay,
I'm only familiar with the Gruffalo because there was a band, an indie band I like called Joneses, who named their album The Gruffalo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I can't believe I remember that. That was years ago. Wow. But yeah, I'm vaguely familiar. Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So they're doing that nowadays anyway, and I think that's pretty good because I mean, there's a lot of like, I mean, hot take. I think children's books are very underrated in terms of just good books. I mean, the thing about children's books obviously is they're supposed to like introduce children to reading and stuff like that, But there's some like that just really, like they're just really so well done. I mean, obviously a lot of Raymond Briggs is why it's so easy to adaptable towards it, because there's just so many good messages, and a lot of it is through the visuals anyway. It's why the Snowman is like so,
Dude, like the Snowman, I'm surprised that never really caught on over in America, because it's so, I mean, I wonder if it's just a sensibility thing, because it is a very moody short when you think about it, right? Like it's very atmospheric, and there's no dialogue, right?
Yeah.
It's all
exactly.
visuals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what was special about it. It was just like, you told it through all the emotion and the music, and I mean, there was that singing bit, walking in the air, but like, but it was all the compelling, it was the animation, it was just the feeling, and it was just I mean, it was, and also it helped, it was snowing set around Christmas, so that helped it as well. But
sure.
like I mean, I gotta shout out the Raymond Briggs other works as well. Like there was one called Father Christmas, which I love, that was adapted beautifully as a animated short, which I highly suggest if you can check it out. It's that in itself is just very funny. It's just basically what if Father Christmas was a lad, an old grumpy geezer, and like he just wanted to go on holiday around before he had to do the big Christmas stuff. Had to do the Christmas business, and stuff like that. Because he's just literally just like, oh, blooming neck, I gotta get back into it. Let's go to Scotland, let's go to Las Vegas. It's great. So that one's a great one as well. I just there's also a really good one of The Bear, which is also a bit like Snowman. It has no dialogue, it's just music and stuff like that. And I mean, if you like polar bears, gosh, this one's just, it looks beautiful, and it's just like, it's in itself, it's also very somber as well, the same way the Snowman, very bittersweet, stuff like that, So
I wanted to actually bring up, before we get into other people's stuff, I wanted to bring up the one of my favorite Christmas specials is I don't see one played anymore. I just wonder if it's because, like what you were saying, like the TV Christmas special doesn't really seem to be a thing anymore. But All of the Other Reindeer is so unique, like looking for a Christmas special or just an animated thing in general. It's got a very big Parappa the Rapper vibe. It's like kind of like those cutouts, kind of that cutout look almost.
I've seen footage of it.
Yeah, it's very fun. I think she had a float in a parade at one point. I think in the Thanksgiving Day parade, like 1 year she had a float, but it's kind of fallen by the wayside. I think it's on DVD, but it's probably out of print at this point. Disney owns it now, so they should probably put it up because it's just a really cute short, and it's very earnest in what it's trying to do, and like I really love that one. They do. Wes, they play it in Canada. That's awesome. I love Olive so much. It's probably like my favorite unsung Christmas movie.
They did a very good job because it was adapting the style of the illustrations, right? Is that why it like looks in the because they've done that perfectly in the sense of like how it looks, I think.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. All right. So, anybody else want to talk about Christmas memories?
I can at least just say in brief. I'm still trying to find Santa Claus. Still haven't gotten a hold of him.
Dude, he's a slippery one.
Yeah, he is.
You gotta really prioritize your search efforts. Gotta stay up as late as possible. He always gets you. It's always when you look away for a split second.
Yeah.
There's a commercial. I kind of want to link it, but it's a Polaroid commercial of like these kids set up like a Polaroid camera to catch Santa.
Ooh, I know that one. Yeah.
And he gets it, and like the image of Santa at the end is like horrifying. It's so scary. I think I posted it on Twitter at one point. I'll see if I can find it. But yeah. Santa continues to evade everybody. Miranda, how about you? What do you have any holiday memories specifically that you want to share?
Let me think. I guess, I don't know, it can be nice to spend it with like loved ones, but I guess as a small child, the exciting part is I get to get the electronics. I wonder what I will receive. One of the funny things about us celebrating Hanukkah specifically, so in the States, it's very much like, which holiday can we use to be like the gift-giving holiday? So we picked that one. So what my parents used to do is they would split up the gifts across the 8 nights. So like I might get like a console one night and then like a game for it another night and then a peripheral another night. It was very cute. So like whenever there's like young kids in the family who like, can't really afford to like buy their own stuff yet, I try to bring the gift reckoning. Get them some nice stuff.
Nice.
Have disposable income. Let's try to get you something nice. Also, I'm trying to figure out how to draw Snoopy as a Godzilla here because I don't know. I'm not sure if this is successful, but they're very diametrically opposed designs.
Nah, go for it. It's awesome.
Snoopzilla. Nice.
Snoopzilla.
That has multiple meanings. I can think of a giant Snoop Dogg. But yeah, personally for me, Christmas is so much about like atmosphere to me. Whenever I go home, I specifically like in college, I started feeling this when I would go, because it's like you're away from your family for so long at that point, and then when you finally go home, it really does feel like, all right, you're on a vacation now, and like there's an atmosphere around the vacation, and it's a very special time that you have off to relax and kind of recompose yourself and enjoy kind of like the snow and everything. And that's like my favorite memory of just like not even like Christmas Day necessarily, just like the general vibe of the holidays of kind of like having lights everywhere and like snow on the ground and just a lot of smoke coming out of chimneys and like that. I don't know, like that's for me, that's like, that is what like the holidays are for me. I remember specifically one year I went home for Christmas, and I remember everyone saying like, "We're all leaving the day after Christmas, Gary, so you're going to be at the house alone." So I got to see everyone for like 3 days, and then for whatever reason, like my sisters left, my parents left, and I just woke up the next day and I think everyone had left in the middle of the night because it was going to snow the next day. And I just remember waking up and there was like 1.5 feet, 2 feet of snow on the ground, and I couldn't even get out the door. I had to like dig myself out.
Oh boy.
I just remember that, and like that's for whatever reason, despite the inconvenience, that was like a really good memory for me of just like, wow, this is so nice. That kind of like everyone's like, oh, you know, the holiday vibe kind of dies after Christmas. I'm like, not really. I think it goes till like New Year's. I think you could argue like the holidays just extend because you guys would consider like New Year's part of the holiday season, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It is valid to send out New Year's cards between December and the first 2 weeks of January, or I'm sorry, holiday cards. Just happy holiday. It's a holiday. Don't worry about it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, that's like my vibe is just kind of like, I mean, Christmas too. I mean, Christmas typically just means like a bunch of people in my house and I'm walking around and I'm not sure who I should talk to. And I remember as a kid, you kind of like, you come downstairs for like an hour and then you just run back upstairs and play video games for the rest of the day. Like I was a very indoor antisocial kid. I would just kind of make the rounds like, hi, and then I would just vanish. Now I feel like kids kind of just cut out the middleman. They bring a Switch and they just sit in the room playing their Switch or whatever console they have. There's no need to even go upstairs anymore. Like you don't even need to worry about getting called out for not being in the room.
Yeah.
You just kill two birds with one stone, basically.
It's so interesting. I like just for holidays, like my immediate family for most of my life has been very small, so it's just a totally opposite vibe. But this is super interesting hearing everybody's experiences.
Yeah. I mean, I have a pretty big family. My mom and my dad has 7 brothers, and my mom has 7 sisters. So like we have a really really big family, and our house gets pretty crowded. And we, of course, my mom always hosts Christmas for whatever reason. So which I prefer, honestly, just because like I don't like having to go anywhere on Christmas. I like having just waking up. I take a shower, I get dressed, and I'm like done. Like I just hang around the house all day, basically. We typically go to my aunt's for Christmas Eve, and that's always fun. Like I always enjoy that. They always buy Italian food, which is nice. But yeah, I don't know. Like I know some people have like more like intimate Christmases, which is nice. That's kind of like coming up this weekend before I go home for the holidays. My girlfriend and I are going to be celebrating Christmas. We're going to have dinner Saturday night, and then we're going to open presents and make dessert when we get back. So really excited for that. Really looking forward to it. It'll be interesting kind of experiencing that. I don't think I've ever had like a Christmas alone. There's never been like a Christmas where, oh no, I did. During the pandemic, the pandemic Christmas, I have pictures of it. My roommate at the time went to his mother's house. I was just alone in an apartment. I had a Christmas tree on the piano we had in the apartment. I put a bunch of presents on there, and I remember Christmas Eve. I believe I was just wrapping presents, and I got like. I think I had like for Christmas Eve dinner, I had like Denny's or something, which is such like a change from just like, oh, everyone's going to cook something and bring it. It was just like, here's Denny's burger for Christmas dinner. So yeah, it was fascinating. I don't know, have you guys ever spent a Christmas alone for any specific reasons?
I had Christmas. I went to Poland for Christmas once with my, and that was quite. I mean, that was very special. Actually, it was very, very special. I mean, granted, it was also the first time I was so far away from my family. So there was a part of me was the feeling of like, oh man, I wish I mean, while I had a great time, part of me was like, oh man, I wish I could have been there with you guys. Sort of thing. So I mean, granted, we still had like voice chat and stuff, and it was fine.
Oh sure.
But aside from that, I mean, that's probably the farthest I've ever been away from my family in terms of like spending Christmas time alone. But no, aside from that, no, I can't think of any other time I would have spent Christmas alone. I hope I don't.
Yeah, I think the pandemic was the only time because I was in California and I'm like, I'm not gonna. I'm just not. So yeah. So I do want to make speaking of holiday stuff and a gift we're going to give fans of the show. We're sorry, God, I keep trying to stifle these coughs. I apologize if you heard me trying to stifle my cough during the stream, or you've heard me outright just like flat out coughing. I'm trying to control it as best I can. But anyway,
you're so emotional about giving this gift.
I'm choking up basically.
Yeah. You know,
about the gift is actively strangling you.
Yeah, the gift. The present has grown arms and it's strangling me. It's strangling me with ribbon.
The good idea for the Christmas special, Gary.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh jeez. I will say this before I get into that. Okay. One of the things that I'm really excited for these newer episodes is like the fantasies are kind of becoming a little less, I guess, monster driven, because that's kind of been like my go-to. I just think monsters are fascinating, and having Wes board them and then Jaime draw them has been awesome. But like these next ones have a couple of different things going on, so I'm really excited for that. But anyway, we are going to release the Failing Upward comic that was given as a Kickstarter gift or an Indiegogo gift. A physical copy was given to backers about 5 years ago when we completed the Indiegogo, and we're going to be releasing it digitally for everybody to check out. And I think you guys will really enjoy it. It's the story of how Cody and JC met, because I know I've gotten a couple questions being like, I don't understand. Like, why are they talking on the phone? Why aren't they meeting in person? Like, why are they? I don't understand. So this explains everything. To explain a little bit about the comic is adapted from the original 30-minute pilot script I wrote. Obviously, it's an 11-page comic, or it's like 12 pages. So I had to kind of squeeze a lot of that. I had to basically take the vital components of what made the script work and put it into a comic form. So a couple of the characters that you know now aren't there yet, but you can kind of fill in the blanks as to where they show up and everything. But I'm really excited. I reread this and I was very happy with it. I was kind of going back into it. I was like, is this hold up? Is this any good? But then I reread it. I was like, oh no, I actually really like this. The dialogue is a lot of fun. So we are going to be releasing that on Christmas Day. Very excited for it. It's going to be on Twitter. I'm going to try to get it on Instagram as well. Probably put it on Tumblr too. And on top of that, at some point, I'm going to try to get a website up so it's got a much kind of easier page turning vibe to it, as opposed to kind of going through several Twitter posts or several Tumblr posts, yada yada yada, basically. So it's really going to be really cool. I'm excited for it. Miranda actually hadn't seen it, so it was cool getting to show her that. Very fun. That present with the strong arms is terrifying.
Thank you. I need to redraw the other hand, but yeah, big present going to punch you out energy.
Oh God, that is jeez. That seems like a novelty gift that somebody would get somebody. Like, you ever get those like buzzers or whatever? It's anything like a snake's coming out of a can, like those like prank gifts that you would get people. Just get a gift where you open it and it's like punches you in the face, basically.
Oh, isn't that a thing with well, they're usually not as violent, but it looks like it's a can of snacks, but it's like a can of like snakes. They're like they have
I was just talking about that, like the can of snakes.
This is that, but like a little bit more hot blooded.
Yeah, it's coming for you, and it doesn't stop. But yeah, I remember when I was a kid at Burger King. I don't know why they sold the can of snakes, but they had that, and I remember I just thought it was the funniest thing in the world. I don't know why, but for like a solid 3 weeks, I was just like, open this can, and everybody knew what it was, but even with they knew it was going to happen. I just thought it was really funny. I was a very easily entertained kid. So yeah.
So no, I just imagine this young Gary just going like, no, open this, like, just open this can. I don't know, you open it. Like, I feel like they would try and fool you to open it. Like,
I'd be like, no. I was like 4 or 5. I'd be like, no, you open it. And eventually, I think my mom just took it away. She's like, I'm done. Like, no more can of snakes. No more can of snakes. I don't want it anymore. So yeah,
You should do it again, but like not put the snakes in, so everyone will have like whiplash and be like, we know what's in
I
it.
remember at this point if it's been so many years.
Good point.
I think of that scene in Elf where he's like doing the Jack in the Box and he knows it's coming and he's just like really scared of it and like he thinks he like passed it or something, like the toy was defective, but then it just like comes out and scares the shit out of him. Oh my god, such a good movie. I was at my girlfriend's sister's house and her kids were watching TV and I heard the New Line Cinema logo and I heard one note of Christmas music and I was like, Elf. I've seen the movie so many times that I don't even need to hear like a narrator or anything. I'm like, that's just Elf. Like one or two notes of music. And I'm like, I just know what that is. As long as the New Line Cinema logo is in front of it. Yeah, I've seen that movie so many times, and not even like out of like, oh, I want to watch this again. It's just always on during the holidays. That's the thing now. I think we've kind of moved on from Christmas specials to movies now. It's just easier to air.
Yeah.
It's more time, more advertisement, basically.
Well, it's weird because I'm like, what's like this? There's the Ryan Reynolds movie, right? That's like
with Will Ferrell.
Yeah. So like, I don't know like how like I mean that doesn't like that should that get me like excited though for Christmas? Like should that, because it doesn't really do anything for me in terms of like.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't for me either. I know that CBS just did a special, and the only reason I know is because Melissa Villaseñor was in it, and I like her stuff a lot. But she was in it, and I heard her like promoting on the station. I'm like, oh, I guess we'd still do Christmas specials. And it had like a relatively big cast. It was like her and Adam Devine and like a couple other people. But I was just like, I guess I'll check that out. It wasn't really promoted too much. But I know a lot of people love Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, apparently.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's ironic. I think people ironically like it at this point. But because Cartoon Network played that into the ground, like, as a kid. I just remember, like, if it was December, there was a 75% chance that if you turned Cartoon Network on, that was going to be on.
The one that I remember, the two that I remember a lot are airing The Grinch That Stole Christmas and the Mr. Magoo's Christmas.
Oh, right.
Basically like an adaptation of Christmas Carol, but just with Mr. Magoo.
Yeah. So, yeah, jeez. I contained a cough so hard before, and I was like crouched over, and it stretched, like I pulled a muscle containing the cough.
Are you be okay over there?
I gotta get some cough syrup after this. That's the one thing I've avoided. I took antihistamines and it worked for like 2 days. But yeah. Anyway, I have a couple more favorite specials, but like I like the Prep and Landing specials that Disney did. Nobody really talks about those. They're just these little cute CGI shorts about elves that are like, they go in and they prep everything for Santa to come in, and they make sure that no kids are awake. And like, it's kind of done like a covert operation, so they have like a mission control and everything. And like, there's this one elf that's a girl that's like obsessed with coffee. I like those a lot. Those were fun. But like, once again, like, I just don't think they air these anymore. And like, now that like Apple TV owns Charlie Brown Christmas, that doesn't air on anymore either.
Oh, you're kidding. That's gutting.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I think they licensed it to PBS for one night a year. Comparatively to when ABC, I believe it was ABC who would play it. They would play it like a couple times during the year. So if you didn't catch it one time, you could catch it another time. But yeah, Apple TV. I mean, it's a mixed blessing because like, yeah, I wish it was still on TV, but like, it's cool that Apple TV is also like doing all these peanut specials that wouldn't exist otherwise. Yeah. Like, I kind of like that, but I do feel like it's such like a national kind of like thing. Like that, I am glad at least they loan it out to PBS. Like, at least we have that. But I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm just like, if it's not on ABC, I'm just like, have the holidays really come if it's not on TV? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's a mixed thing, but you know,
if there was one like Christmas special that I wish could have catched on here in the UK, it would have been Charlie Brown Christmas. Like,
Has it not caught on in the UK?
Not really. It's not really I mean, it's not to say that we don't know Snoopy or Charlie Brown, you know, it's just, I guess it's more the fact of like the Peanuts comic was much more obviously significant, I guess, in America than it was here in the UK, even though we are aware and we're like Snoopy and stuff like that, you know. I guess we're more in the merchandising, I guess, aspect of it than the, you know, the actual what it's based on, the comic and stuff, you know, which is a shame because I really do like the Peanuts comics and, you know, I even like the recent Peanuts movie that they did, Blue Sky.
Oh yeah, that was it was really good looking. I remember it was like I don't know how else you could capture the feel of the comic other than kind of doing it like that. So
yeah,
I thought they did a really good job with that. And I like that it was a very loose narrative. It wasn't like Charlie Brown has to save the day or whatever. It was just like kind of snapshots of a school year, more or less.
Exactly. Yeah, it was
really cool.
Yeah, it didn't have to work too hard upon like a big gigantic story. I mean, there's plenty of fan service, I guess, in terms of like, you know, what was you know, with the like I'm blanking on the name, the great what's Snoopy's character when he's in the the Flying Ace, I think. That's it. Yeah, Flying Ace and Red Baron. Yeah, so it's definitely like that kind of aspect and whatnot, you know. And we actually got to hear the redhead. Well, I'm blanking on all those names. Yeah, we actually had her voice and we saw her what she looked like for the first time ever. So I guess that was kind of cute. But yeah,
I remember my favorite Charlie Brown joke from a special. I think it was Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown, and Don't Come Back. But there's just a joke where he goes into like a bakery in Paris. And he's just like, one loaf de bread. And then he takes the bread and he's holding it horizontally and he walks out the door and the two halves get cut off. And he does this like 3 times until he realizes he needs to do it vertically. And then Snoopy just takes it and breaks it in half again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I just remember one loaf de bread sticks with me. This
that
one.
Is very funny.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any other specials that are coming to mind. I consider Weird Things Christmas movies. One of my favorite Christmas movies. I think it's dated, but it's still really fun. Have you ever seen? Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, have you ever seen Just Friends?
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah,
it's a rom-com that Ryan Reynolds did where. Once again, very dated premise, but like it's all about being like friend zoned, which I mean, I think we kind of pushed past that at this point. But it overall it's just funny, I think, and it's just he goes home for Christmas and he kind of revisits his like his childhood home and everything, and he's reconnecting with everybody. And he's like a big he's not a celebrity, he's like a music producer or something or a music agent, and he represents Anna Faris, who's a crazy rock star that he broke up with, but he like is still in love with him, and like she's out of her mind. She's like the best part of the movie, and like he fights with his brother all the time, and that's really funny. But I consider that like a really good Christmas movie, and nobody really talks about it because once again, it's kind of dated. But it's just funny. And I think it's a testament to like, man, Ryan Reynolds has been around for a while because that was like 2005. Yeah. It's nuts.
Well, I never registered that was a Christmas movie to begin with, but then I guess it does happen around. Like I do remember a lot of snow, so I guess it does count.
Yeah, I mean it ends on Christmas, I think.
Oh wow, okay, fair enough.
Or it ends like a day after Christmas or something like that. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, Die Hard's a Christmas movie," and I'm like, I'm so tired of that argument. It's like the definitive like film argument. Like, is it a Christmas movie? Is it not? I'm like. There are action movies that are actually Christmas movies. Like there's one called there's Gina Davis. What's it called? The Long Good Night, which is all about like Gina Davis has like a dual personality where she's an assassin, and it all takes place during Christmas, and it's awesome. Cool. And I'm like, that's a Christmas action movie, and that like ties into Christmas and everything. That's cool. Go watch is it The Long Kiss Goodnight? I think The Long Kiss Goodnight is what it's called.
Oh, cool.
Highly recommend it. Shane Black movie. So I mean, all of his movies take place during Christmas too, or like have Christmas involved in them. Like The Nice Guys ends on Christmas, and except for Predator. Predator has no Christmas in it. But anyway, yeah.
Two related thoughts. One is I kind of enjoyed the new life that the Rankin Bass Rudolph special has, or not just the Rudolph one, but like there's a bunch of them. Like Snow Miser has become kind of a meme. So like whenever it gets to this time of year, I just see like a bunch of ridiculous Snow Miser content, which I find very entertaining.
Oh yeah.
The other thing was, did you know that Bayonetta 2 is technically a Christmas video game?
No.
The opening cutscene, it's Christmas and they're out buying gifts and stuff. And like I was watching a friend watch this, like play this on stream of it. I was like, I never knew that. That's really funny.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's cool. You talk about the Rankin Bass ones. There was one of them where it's like Jack Frost comes in or whatever. I think it's Jack Frost, and then like I think Mrs. Claus like launches like a rocket out of her wrist and blows him up. And it's a deep cut reference to Red Letter Media. They reviewed this movie called Blood Debts, and the way the movie ends is like a guy is about to like get shot, and then suddenly he has like a secret rocket in his like sleeve, and he just launches the rocket at the guy, and the guy blows up, and then it hard cuts to like text, and the movie ends. So I need to see if I can find it. It's so funny. Oh my god.
I'm gonna see if I can sneak a Snow Miser in here. It's very tiny on the bottom somewhere.
Yeah, the Rankin Bass stuff. I mean, Elf Practice has become a meme too. So like,
oh, I forgot about Elf. It has been a year since I thought about Elf Practice. I guess I must be late.
Yeah,
I'm late for Elf Practice.
Yeah.
I enjoy the character designs. Have just a very specific vibe to them that I think is pretty fun.
I'm gonna post this in the chat because
no.
You guys check this out.
Oh my god! Okay, you know what's great about that? I mean, it's not. I mean, it's very funny that Mrs. Claus like exploded that flash there. I think it's funny enough to have like the message there. I love the fact that it's just the low poly music though that just really sells it.
Yeah, that's the music. That's the music from Blood Debts. So like, yeah, I saw that. I lost my mind the first time I saw this.
I'm gonna have to check it after stream because if I do check it on stream,
no worries. I posted it in the chat.
Okay.
I posted it in the Discord too. I guess we've been going for about an hour and a half. It's a little longer than we usually go. I guess we can start to wrap it up. Guys, thank you for coming out for this again. And I've been having such a good time doing these episodes, and I just want to say we'll probably see you guys again in the new year, but I want to thank everybody who's been watching the shorts, the episodes and everything, for tuning in and checking it out. It's been a long road kind of getting the last one out, and I'm so glad we finally did, and I was so happy to see that people really liked it, and it was definitely a highlight of the year, and guys, and just the team in general, like, I've had such a good year working with you, and it's been so good kind of like getting to do these streams and kind of getting to talk about like whatever we want to and everything, and just having a casual time and drawing different themed stuff. It's been a really good time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, I'm definitely glad I'm so happy we got an episode out this year, and I'm really looking forward to the, with what we got planned now. It's just like hoping to, we're gonna definitely more episodes coming out this, hopefully next year, and I'm really looking forward to what's coming up next anyway for the show, and it's been great. It's been great working with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I love the Grinch, Brad. That's awesome.
Brad
you got the face wrinkles. Just you got it.
A wonderful, awful idea.
Still blows me away. That's Boris Karloff.
That is?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's Boris Karloff. It was one of the last things he did, right?
Amazing.
I think it was the Grinch the 70s?
Let me see. Yeah. What's the? Oh no, I was thinking of like the Ed Wood film. That was
Oh,
Dracula's last role.
1966.
Right. Wow. Okay.
So this is one of the last things he did, I think. This and
Wow.
Targets were like the two last things he did. All right, yeah, cool.
Well, you know.
Little holiday trivia for you there. But yeah, guys, it's just like I said, it's been a wonderful year, and I really look forward to next year and kind of like exploring this show more, and it's just meant a lot to me. Kind of getting these opportunities to hang out with you, and just seeing all the amazing work that's been coming through. Yeah. So with that, I think we're gonna call the stream. I see Snow Miser.
Down in the corner.
Let's wrap out Snow Miser, and then we'll wrap out the stream. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What? The temptation in me is just to like blow a big explosion like in his face. I can't.
Get a ping, and just put it on him.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh,
that's
So
great.
good. All right, guys. We're gonna close out the stream. Thank you once again, everybody, for a wonderful year. Have a happy holidays. And we'll see you next year.